Today we are taking a look at 3 new projects. So we have Seduce, Melange and Curved. So for this 3-day project, I wanted to work with mostly wave displacement, but I decided to create a setup where I had a couple layers of displacement. So as you can see, we do have the first displacement, and on top of that, we have a second layer of displacement. And I think I might have 3 or 4 different layers of displacement here. And you know what? I kind of messed up the texturing for this first project. I don't know why I decided to choose this texture pattern, but yeah, it kind of messed up the subsurface scattering, but you know what, it is what it is, right? I tried to fix it on the second one. As you can see, I think I used the same displacement pattern here. We don't have these type of artifacts on the mesh. And for the third one, I mostly used only wave displacement. So, all right, let's get inside of the first project. And as you can see, we have a camera, cube, and 3 lights. So let's take a look at what we have. So I'm going to close a little bit the texturing for now. I'm going to close this up. And as you can see, we have a grid, a set position, another set position, and a subdivision surface. It's a very easy setup. I'm gonna get out of my camera, turn off the grids, and yeah, this is what we have. So let's take a look at the first set position, right? Because I wanna just see what we have. So yeah, this is the first layer of displacement. So as you can see, it's a simple wave displacement, and I'm gonna just feed this straight inside of the scale. So yeah, this is what we have as a default displacement, and I wanted to make this a little bit more intricate, so I fed the color inside of the color ramp and inside of the vector of another noise texture. And as you can see, now we have this irregular pattern, and I'm going to link up the second set position, and as you can see, with the second layer of displacement, we are taking the mesh that we already have and we are displacing it even further. This is the nice thing when working with geometry node. You can pretty much do whatever you want with it. So 2 layers of displacement, that's pretty much it. So let's take a look at the texturing. Man, I just love the subsurface scattering. You know, I'm using it more and more now for my shader, and yeah, just great thing to have. And we have texture coordinate, mapping, noise texture inside of a color ramp, for our mix shader, and I have 2 principal BSDF, as you can see here. The one on the top is simply the red color with a little bit of roughness. That's pretty much it. And down below we have our subsurface. And I just wanted a small amount of red inside of the subsurface scattering. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did. After that, I added my texture. So this is the hexagon tile. This is one of the map from my hexagon seamless tile inside of the color ramp, roughness, and in the displacement. So again, when you're using displacement, be sure to go inside of the material setting and enable displacement and bump. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this project. All right, so let's open up the second one, which is Melange. I just love the way it looks here with the cavity option, right? I mean, this looks so nice. So let's get out of the camera. And as you can see, we have the same setup. And man, this looks nice. So let's take a look at the mesh. So as you can see here, I went a little bit overboard with my displacement layers. So we have 5 different displacement layers. So I'm calling this layers because, you know, it is pretty much what it is. And I do have some nodes that are not being used. So I'm going to delete those. And I'm just going to take this down here where it belongs. So we have a wave, another wave, another wave, another wave, and after that, yeah, another wave. So we have 5 different wave displacement layer on top of each other. And I'm just going to put this here so we can take a look at what's happening. So this is the first layer of displacement, very small amount of wave. So yeah, that's the second layer. As you can see, the bend axis is set to Y. We have this. Next, for the third displacement, we have something like that, which is nice. So bend and Z axis. So I've been using all three axes with different scale for each wave. I mean, this looks nice, and this is a nice way to be able to create kind of normal maps, so you can bake this inside of a map in Blender. So the fourth one is again on the x-axis, and we are kind of defining some area here. As you can see, these are more defined. And for the last layer, we have this, which adds all of the details. There are some places where, it's not defined properly on the model, and that's just because the displacement is affected only on the Z axis, so only up. So as you can see, everything is kind of smush together here, so we don't really have the nice details here defined. So adding layers on top of layers is a nice way to be able to have some more organic shapes that you can play around with. To be able to get the mix shader working like this, I decided to use the ambient occlusion node and feed this inside of the factor. And as you can see, you can really define how the mix is applied, which is a really nice thing to have. And this can only happen thanks to the displacement that we actually have. I'm going to try and use my ramp generator, so be sure to install the ramp generator. I'm going to select stripe, select this, and generate. Oh man, yeah, this looks nice. And I'm going to enable the random position. Yeah, maybe less colors. Yeah, this is looking nice. I'm gonna try with the grayscale. Ah, nice. Man, this is something, this is actually looking better than what I have. We don't have that orange as much, but just enough to kind of define the pattern on the mesh. So yeah, as you can guess, I didn't have the ramp generator when I did this project. That would have helped a lot. But yeah, that's how I was able to create this shader. And let's take a look at the third project, which is curved. And again, with this one, I went a little bit overboard again with 5 different displacement layers. So yeah, so exactly the same principle. So the first displacement, simple noise. The second one is another one. I think this was diagonal. Yeah, this is diagonal. The third one, again, diagonal, but a little bit more defined. The last one, we have our detail displacement. So yeah, this is looking nice. So everything is wave again. And for the shader, again, I use the ambient occlusion. And I'm going to be using the ambient occlusion a little bit more for my shadering because it just helps a lot. So before I end this video, I wanted to show you some of the behind the scene of the plugins that I'm trying to work on. That's pretty much why I create the daily projects. It's because I'm trying to figure out a workflow or something to be able to, speed up the creation process. And the 3 projects that we saw helped me out figure out a way to, create kind of a more procedural tool for creating this type of displacement. And this tool will be called Noiscape. I created back in 2017 for Cinema 4D, but now inside of Blender, as you can see, you can do a lot more thanks to the geometry node. And this is pretty much the beta setup for the Noiscape plugin that I'm gonna have. And yeah, so everything, all the controls are here. And as you can see, you have different layers of displacement that you can add on top of each other. And with, you can choose every type of noise, and there's all the sliders. So this is in beta, of course, just for testing purposes, but you can see kind of the workflow that I'm following here is exactly the same workflow that I had on those 3 projects. So we have a couple of layers of displacement, and we have the the noise types and displacement. So I had to create a lot of different custom group to be able to put everything together, because if you go inside of this group, there's a lot of things happening. So I could have used drivers, but this is kind of the only way that to make it work in the modifiers tab properly. So I went with this. So there's a lot of things happening, and I'm not going to go into this in this video. So yeah, this was made thanks to those 3 little projects that I created. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this behind the scene video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.